two young giants entering the ring for an exhibition of wrestling skill that promises to be filled with thrills before it's done. But let's listen as they are officially introduced by our leather-lunged friend with the carnation in his buttonhole.
One fall, 30 minutes, introducing from Slovakia, Jack Gacek. From the United States, Vic Hill. Referee.
Microphone is raised, the announcer leaves, the referee enters the ring, and we're about to watch a grand wrestling bout. These two are Vic Hill and Jack Gacek, a couple of ex-football players following careers on the mat. A couple of modern gladiators who wrestle cleanly and fairly throughout, as you'll clearly see as the bout gets underway. The bell rings, and out of their corners they come to mix it right up without wasting any time at all, with Gacek going to work on that arm of Vic Hill's, bending it around behind him. Vic Hill twisting and squirming on the mat, trying to break out of that hold as Jack Gacek continues to apply the pressure. Uses both hands on that arm now, swings Hill over flat on his back, and Hill comes to a wrestler's bridge to keep his shoulders off the mat. If they're on the mat for 3 seconds, he's officially lost the bout, you know. So it's necessary to come to that wrestler's bridge in order to avoid an early defeat in the opening seconds of the contest. But he rolls now, gets to 1 foot and lifts Gacek to smash him back down onto the canvas once again and swarm all over him. And this time it's up to Gacek to come to that wrestler's bridge and try and avoid defeat. And it's a head scissors from Gacek to Hill that brings Hill down on the canvas with Gacek swarming all over him. But the tables are quickly turned, and again it's Vic Hill of the good old USA that's got that head scissors on Gacek. Gacek comes to a headstand, hoping to fall out of that hole if he possibly can, but he can't do it without rolling backwards, and in this way he practically pinions Hill's shoulders to the canvas, and again Hill has to save himself with the wrestler's bridge, and he's in a bad way there now as Gacek has a very firm grip on him, and he rolls, and it's Hill on top this time. So quickly do the fortunes of war change in a wrestling bout between two young giants who are as skillful as Vic Hill and Jack Gacek. They come to their feet now with Hill with that reverse wrist lock on Gacek, and that hurts. It hurts plenty, and Gacek tries to walk out of that hole if he possibly can, but Vic Hill is much too powerful for the moment until he goes crashing down on one shoulder on the canvas with Gacek swarming all over him, and they tangle around there so fast it's impossible to keep up with the action. First one on top and then the other until they finally break and get to their feet, and very cleanly and in a sportsmanlike manner they meet again with Gacek punishing Hill with that head scissors. Once again it's up to Hill to come to the headstand if he can, but Gacek doesn't give him the opportunity. Swarms all over him again, ready to get those shoulders to the canvas if he can get that half Nelson that he's after there now. But he can't quite do it because Hill rolls over, and now Hill has had the tables turned on him once again as Gacek applies the pressure, and there's only one possible way that Hill can come out of that punishing hold that Gacek has on him, ladies and gentlemen. That is to kick out of it, to use the impetus gained by a kick to break out of that hold, or else roll, and he can't seem to do it. Although he's trying vainly as the referee gets down and asks him if he wants to give up, at the same time making sure that his shoulders haven't been pinned to the canvas. And there's another kick and a roll this time, but not sufficient. Yes, just enough to let him break that hold and swarm over on top of Gacek once again, going to work on a reverse wrist lock with Gacek, but it's an inside crotch, a body lift and a slam, and down goes Vic Hill to the canvas with the young giant from Slovakia, spread eagle, on top of him. Hill quickly turns the tables, comes up with a head chancery, which he is apt to turn into a Beals. No, he's lost it, and it's a chancery from Gacek that slams Hill to the canvas for the second time. He goes crashing down the third time as Gacek, anxious to finish the job that he started, comes in only to go to the canvas himself from a flying tackle, and he intercepts that one with a kick from the feet, and Hill kicks in turn. Both young men kicking each other there, and back into the canvas goes Vic Hill as he's dragged there by Jack Gacek, who gets an Indian deadlock, and a perfect Indian deadlock on those feet of Vic Hill. There's nothing that Vic Hill can do about it, and he's conceded the victory to Jack Gacek. He knows that he can stay there all night and never kick out of that, and the pain from that hold is terrific. There's a very unusual thing, ladies and gentlemen. It takes 4 men to untangle these two young giants from the effects of that Indian deadlock that was applied to the loser by Jack Gacek of Slovakia, whose hand is now held in triumph by the referee. It was necessary for the referee and the victor too to explain to the announcer just what that hold was that let him win that bout. And there are the two modern gladiators in a fine exhibition of sportsmanship, shaking hands and calling it a day. Jack Gacek proud of a clean victory, and Vic Hill splendid in defeat. And Gacek stands and watches as Hill leaves the ring as though to say, I wish there were more like him.